Hey guys. Hey guys. Hope you all can hear me right now. Come hang out. We're going to talk about the USA El Salvador game that just finished. Ended 6-0. Very different halves in the first, second half. Interesting all around. I thought there was a lot of, yeah. We'll about it when more people come in. But come out, say hi. Tell me what you're doing. Hey, Akshay Singh. How you doing, buddy? Tell me what you guys thought of the game. That's really the main point of this hangout. I mean, I'm going to give you some thoughts as well, but I definitely want to hear what you guys have to say. Hey, Jacob, Henry, how you guys doing? Oh, it's good to actually interact with you on a semi-live basis. Can everybody hear me okay? Hi, Luke, Kendall, Joshua Simmons, major friend of the channel. Comments all the time. Good to see you, man. Akshay. Yes, Peter Carver says 6-0 ain't bad. Christian Hansen watching reality TV with the wife. It's a good call to come over here. Yeah, look at that. People chiming in. Zach, how you doing, man? Zach E, another great friend of the channel. Andy Garcia. Yes, I was surprised to not see Cole Bassett as well. I was actually hoping he'd start. Quack, man. Mackenzie wasn't offsides. No, he wasn't. No. You guys are awesome. Joshua Simmons says, let's hope those silly L Tree fans don't come. Yeah, I mean, I don't mind if they come. They're kind of fun to mess with sometimes. No, it's all good. Akshay Singh, Daniel Rudolph. Oh, it's my girlfriend's name is Natalie Rudolph. So same last name. Yes, big 2021 coming up, guys. That was it was good to have a look at some of our depth for sure. That was about, I guess, our C team, to be honest. If you take Aaron Long out of there, that was probably our C team. So to win so convincingly, albeit against a really, really bad El Salvador, was good to see. I thought that El Salvador adjusted to us in the second half, and a combination of us not being able to adjust well to that, but also a combination of some guys coming on that, frankly, I don't think should be really that close to the national team. Just sort of ruined the game a little bit. But that happens in friendlies. You put 5 or 6 subs on. Yeah, Spencer Hoffman says there are rumors of a game against Canada in January. That would be awesome. I think Canada would be a good opponent. It would be good to see them. We need to see some other guys that weren't in this game, guys like Matt Turner or Daryl DK. Hey, Nathan. Kenny Sloth. It's not so much that individuals came on and ruined the game. It's more that when you have 5 or 6 guys coming on in a short space of time and you pull off some key guys who were some of the best performers during the game, it ruined the flow of the game. And yes, some of the guys, I'll get into it, but some of the guys that came on, I was just like, I mean, I get it. There's nobody else really, but they didn't need to bring on, that's Kellen Acosta, for example. Guys, he's not USMNT quality. Pulisic is back, Christian. He's back. He's been playing for Chelsea. So that's good news. Andrew Owens. I think Cole Bassett should have played instead of Kellen Acosta. Hell yeah. I thought Kellen Acosta, Cole Bassett should have played, preferably for at least a half. I kind of wanted him to start. Julian Araujo was impressive, Josh, except for that one giveaway in the second half that just basically passed it to the guy in the box. So, yeah. Zimmerman, I'm glad he only got 8 minutes. I think I've said on the videos before what I think of Walker. I don't think he's a great defender. He's fine when you're defending as a group. If you're defending in a block, yeah, Walker Zimmerman is good. When he's defending on an island, then he's terrible. I've seen him for LAFC live about 50 times, and it's just he's not good. Zach E, move over Pulisic. We got a Mueller now. Yeah, Mueller was good, I thought, especially in the first half. He was a little quieter in the second half, but that was more not his fault. That was more because El Salvador adjusted to us. Taylor Twellman, Joshua says, Taylor Twellman is my man when he said Josh Sargent is our striker. Thank God. Let's hope so. Mihailovic shouldn't have been subbed in, says Ray Puma. Bassett would have been a hit. I agree. I think Mihailovic is one of the other guys that just like, what does he offer? He's not quick. He's not particularly technical. he's just a very average MLS midfielder. You know, maybe he'll be involved with the Olympics because he's young enough, but I don't know. Him, Acosta, and Marco Farfan, those three guys, I didn't really understand why they were brought on. I would have liked to see Sam Vines for a full game because that left back position is something that we need to look at. Anthony Robinson is not the clear number one there. We don't want Serginho Dest on the left if we can help it. So let's give Sam Vines, who's shown potential and was very good in the first half, a full game. Marco Farfan really didn't do anything. Quackman is still on about that McKenzie goal, I think you mean. Yeah, look, so let me talk a little bit about what happened in the game, and I'll try to go back and forth. If you have questions, put them in the comments as well. Tiger Turner, Leggett was one of the best creators tonight, in my opinion. Yes, he was. Leggett and McKenzie, for me, were the two best players tonight. McKenzie locked it down defensively and had a lot of, especially in the first half, he had a lot of really good line-breaking passes from McKenzie. Very, very happy with him tonight. And remember, he's right-footed, so him playing on the left and playing so well with his left is a really good sign for the team. Will Greg take a note from Pirlo and use Weston as an attacking midfielder, says Daniel Rudolph. Yeah, the thing is, Daniel, he already has. He's been using him as one of those dual eights. They're not pure attacking midfielders, but they're like box-to-box midfielders. Him and I think it was Musa in the last game that go back and forth. Aronson showed class today. See, I thought Aronson was not that good today. I thought he did well to get in some good spots, but then when he got possession of the ball, he didn't really do a lot with it. His final ball. I'm going to talk more about this on tomorrow's video, who did well and who didn't. Yeah, Leggett was very good. I think Leggett is a leader, Daniel, on the national team. Can McKenzie, says Andrew Owens, can McKenzie break into the top 11 as Brooks and other center backs? I think McKenzie should break at first. I think he should start off as a backup to John Brooks instead of Tim Ream because he can play on that left-hand side, which our other center backs cannot. And then I think I'd like to see McKenzie at some point with John Brooks because he's actually right-footed. So I want to see what he looks like on the right-hand side of defense. It's good that he's versatile. He can play both sides. Yo, what's up, Pete? Says Marcos. Hey, Marcos, how you doing? Good to see you guys here. This is really fun. I can't believe we haven't done this before. Preston, love the stuff, man. This is definitely our C or D team. Are any of those guys good enough to be in Qatar? Hard to say, man. Qatar is 2 years away still, so it's hard to know exactly who is going to be there. But I'd say McKenzie and Leggett for sure should be involved with the top 23. Like if we have a first team roster, I would bring both McKenzie and Leggett for sure. Quackman, I like this. It's cool. I think so too. This is fun. So many questions. I'll try to get to them all. Where should Mark McKenzie go? From Kendall. Yes, good question, Kendall. I don't want him to go to Celtic. I've heard rumors of that. Scotland is not a good league. I have been to Scotland. I've watched that league live. You think MLS is rough. Scotland is terrible. Now, yeah, you say, Celtic's the best team. But they're just getting knocked out of the Europa League. They haven't been in the Champions League. They got knocked out of the Europa League. They're at the bottom of the table, and that's Scotland's best team. So he's going to go there and play against teams that are worse than MLS teams. I just don't think it's going to help his development. I want him to go to Germany or Holland. I would even be fine with a championship team, but I'd probably prefer Holland or Germany. Let's see. Tactical Manager. Hey, buddy, good to have you in here. Are you doing a live stream as well? I think Tactical Manager does a live stream, or at least he did last time. I don't know if he's going to this time. Or did you have a live stream during the game? I think he did. Lewis, good to meet you too. I liked Mueller a lot. I thought he was very good, very eager. He's similar to Paul Arriola. Yeah, guys, go ahead and like the video if you can. It'll help other people to find it. Besides the goal from Akinola, says Ray Puma, he didn't do anything for the rest of the game. I kind of agree with you. I thought he was a little quiet. I don't think his hold-up play was the best. But it's his first game, and he's still young. Let's see how it goes. Tactical Manager, Pete, want to have you on our channel sometime. I'd love to come, man. Hit me up. I'm on Twitter and Instagram. Let's work something out. It'd be fun to do like a collab or something. Adam Stam wants some love for Stefan. I know Hamid did not get a lot of work tonight, but what did you think? So it's hard to tell with Hamid based on tonight. His passing is not good, We saw that. Even when he wasn't under pressure, he makes the right pass, mostly the short ones, but even the pass is slow. It's a soft pass. It's like it's fine because it gets there and there's no pressure, but under pressure, that soft pass would be intercepted or it would put the defender in a tight position. I'm not a fan of Wilhelmid. I think he was just here because there's nobody else. Matt Turner is who I want to see in January. I think Matt Turner should be our number 2. Him and Horvath competing for the number 2. And I think Matt Turner has what it takes to compete with Stefan down the line. So what did I think of Yule? I thought Yule was really good. I thought he quarterbacked the game in the first half. I think in the second half, they pressed him higher up the field. And also he lost his runners. When we took off Areola and we took off Leggett, he didn't have really as many runners to hit. But I thought Yule was mostly good. Orlando Sports Academy. Good to see all you guys here, man. I know you all by your comments, and now I'm actually getting to chat with you, which is cool. Soto needed service. Yeah, I thought Soto was quiet, but it wasn't his fault, really. I mean, he's not. So Soto is different than Akinola. He's different than Sargent. He is a guy who's going to poach. He's closer to Zardes, but with a better first touch. He's a poacher. He's going to get in behind and be in the right place at the right time to finish. He's not a guy that's going to come very deep and get involved with combination play and hold-up play. That's just not his game. So if you have Soto on the field, you need to have good service, okay? And that's what we didn't really see for Soto, which is unfortunate. But I'm glad he got on the field again, right? He's going to be going back to Norwich at some point, and the more USMNT caps he has, the easier it is for him to get a work permit. Okay, let's talk a little bit about the game. So in the first half, I was really surprised to see what El Salvador were doing. They had a high line, so they pushed that defensive line all the way up the field. Now, that's already very risky, but if you're going to do that, you have to make sure you press high and you compress the space in front of you. And El Salvador did not do that. I mean, Leggett, Aronson, Yule, everybody had time and space on the ball. Mark McKenzie could receive the ball and spend 3-4 seconds looking for a pass. It was just so easy. So they left space in front of them. They left space behind them. And that's how it just went bam, 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 goal after goal after goal. So I don't know why El Salvador did that. I mean, I understand if you want to play a high line, you want to compress space, but they didn't compress space. It was very, very lackadaisical, very just sad to watch almost. Yeah. Louis Z says having a high line with a slow back line is a disaster waiting to happen. Yeah, I agree. But not just that. It's also problematic if you're not going to press, because at least if you press high up the field, you're going to stop them from playing those balls in behind. I mean, Yule looked like Tom Brady out there with time and space. Well, not the current Tom Brady, but, the Brady when he was up in New England. So, yeah, that was really surprising to see. And as great as it was to see this sort of goal fest in the first half, we have to be honest with ourselves. That's not going to happen in World Cup qualifying. Teams are going to drop back. They're going to bunker. They're going to hang on. Prox Doge YT. I'm from El Salvador and I feel embarrassed. Well, don't be, buddy. It was poor tactics in the first half, but in the second half, you guys were a lot better and you actually started to boss the game a little bit. So I don't think you should be too embarrassed. The scoreline, yeah, that was a little embarrassing, but it was really a game of two halves. So, yeah, what was I saying? I lost my train of thought. Sorry, guys. Yeah, so it was good to see, but then El Salvador really, played into our hands. And then in the second half, El Salvador compressed the space better. So what they didn't, it wasn't where they played their line, it was where their line played in comparison to their front line. So the space between their back line and their front line was very, very well compressed. So even when they moved their line up, they started pressing better, and it was very difficult to find room to play it in behind. They also dropped deep sometimes, but they sort of kept the spaces between their front line and their back line very tight. So it was very hard to play through them. Now, on top of that, we took off Sebastian Leggett, who was the best attacker on the day, in my opinion. And they took off, Greg took off, what was his name? I'm sorry, I forgot. I've lost my train of thought. But he brought on Acosta, and he brought on Mihailovic, okay? And then you just didn't really, that midfield became slow. They couldn't really find those passes anymore. Aronson, I thought Aronson was not very good today. He lacks that final ball. He gets himself into good positions, but he's very rarely incisive. And I think that's a problem. Hopefully that's going to change when he goes to Salzburg, and he'll learn to be more incisive over time. Lucas Ortigoza, what did you think about Stefan's match today versus Marseille at the UCL? He had good moments. He had a good stop 1v1. Some of his passing, he had this one, pass where he completely missed the guy and passed outside the field. So that wasn't great. I think Stefan does need to play. But, I'm glad to see him in the Champions League and do well. Tristan, who was your man of the match? Either Sebastian Lletget or Mark McKenzie. Probably Sebastian Lletget. He pretty much ran that attack by himself. He was like the quarterback, but higher up the field. Yule was good too. Yule was very good. Hey, Pete, this is the only Josue. Josue has been with us since like the first video. Hey, man, good to see you. It's kind of off topic, but I wanted to ask, who do you see from this group going to the Olympics next year? Let me see. Probably Jackson Yule. I can imagine him maybe being at the Olympics, unless Johnny Cardoso goes. One of those two is going to go to the Olympics. Let me see. I'm trying to think. Probably Akinola, if he, commits to us. I'm not sure about Soto. A lot depends on what happens with Joaquini and DK. So we'll kind of have to wait and see. Sam Vines might go to the Olympics, depending on if Berhalter brings him into the senior team. But he's a good player. Araujo, I can see going to the Olympics because we already have Serginho Dest and Reggie Cannon at right back. So I can see Araujo starting at the Olympics. Does Mark McKenzie move to Europe? I hope so. I hope he does, but it depends where. I don't want him to just move. A lot of people say Europe, go to Europe. And it's like, okay, but there's Europe and there's different kinds of Europe. Like Celtic, I'd rather you stay in MLS than go play at Celtic, honestly. Europe, if he goes to the Bundesliga, if he goes to Holland, even Belgium, the Championship, then I can see him doing well. France, even Portugal, anywhere like that, I think would be a good move for McKenzie, but not Scotland. All right. What was better, McKenzie's goal or his Wait, you're talking about McKenzie? Joshua Simmons, you're talking about McKenzie, right? Mark McKenzie, not McKennie, because you're putting McKennie a lot. I think you mean McKenzie. Or are you talking about McKennie's goal for Juve? Last, was it 2 days ago? Day before yesterday? What are the chances realistically with people like Akinola and Musa? Hey, Rob. I think Musa's going to actually commit to us. I don't think you come and you start 2 games with this dynamic group and play well and then go, nah, I'm going to go play for England. So I think Musa picks us. Akinola, it's hard to say. We brought him in. He got a goal. Be interesting to see if he accepts a Canada call-up in January. Honestly, if we lose Akinola, I'm not going to be thrilled, but I'm not going to be too bummed either. I don't think he's got a really high ceiling. I'd rather have DK than Akinola, personally. But that's based on one season, so who knows? Who's the starting goalkeeper come the Olympics? You mean for the Olympic team, Omar? Probably David Ochoa. I think David Ochoa or maybe Chituru or Dunze. Those are the 2 guys that I think could be the starting goalkeepers for the Olympics. Ochoa is, guys, keep an eye on Ochoa next season. I hope he plays. I hope he starts for Real Salt Lake next season because he's a top keeper. I liked Vines at left back a lot. I thought he should have got more time. I thought he combined well with Mueller. He got forward. He was solid defensively, but he also played in that phase where they weren't really doing anything to hurt us, El Salvador. So I would have liked to see him in the second half and have him be tested more. Maybe we bring him in January against Canada, have Vines start a full game at left back and see what happens. Somebody said, are there any sleepers, Christian, that should have been on the roster today? Yeah, there were a ton of guys that should have been here but weren't because they had club commitments. Matt Turner being the one I wanted to see the most. Jordan Morris is another one that should have been here but couldn't. As far as people that were available to be called up but weren't, I can't really think of anybody that was like they should have been there but they weren't. So, did we even qualify for Tokyo? The qualifiers will be next year, Humberto. Let's see. How important it is for the young MLS players to move to Europe soon. So Andy Garcia. I don't believe that we should bring MLS players to the September games due to their off season. So here's the thing. I don't look at where a player plays as much as I look at how they play. Sebastian Lletget has played his entire career in MLS. but every time he steps on the field for the U.S., he's really, really good. So it doesn't matter to me, and then you get some guys in Europe that I'm just like, I wouldn't call him up. Caden Clark. Yeah, a lot of people are saying something about him. I'm guessing he's going to be with the U20s. I don't think he's going to be with the U23s. Do you think George Bello or Miles Robinson fit into this team? I would like to see George Bello. It's really unfortunate that Atlanta don't release their guys because, George Bello would have been really good on this team. And I think, if I'm a young guy in Atlanta and I know that they're not going to release me for national team duty unless it's a FIFA match date, I'm thinking twice about that because literally the best chance that MLS guys have to impress Berhalter is December or January camp. Those little camps like this where you get a chance to go be in there. So we'll see. Any potential magic pairing spotted on the field? Any chemistries as such, as it were? I thought Areola and Leggett played really well. Areola played well too, by the way, guys. I haven't mentioned him much. But he's not a guy who's going to be, really effective at a high level, but he's a hard worker and he combines well and he understands the system. And he's a sort of a sleeper, maybe not the top 23, as in my opinion. But Greg will probably bring him. I think Greg likes him a lot. I'd rather have someone like Ulianes on the wing than Paul Areola. Just my opinion. But he played well today. Julian Green is one of those guys that I'm just not a big fan of. I think he's found his ceiling. He's in his late 20s now or mid to late 20s. He's not going to get a whole lot better than he is. He's going to be a good 2 Bundesliga midfielder, maybe the Gold Cup next year. That could be his, where he is. But like the central midfielders we have now, I don't see Julian Green getting in. Musa, McKennie, Adams, Leggett, Ledesma, Aarons. I just don't see it. Thoughts on James Sands? I like James Sands. I think he's injured. That's why he wasn't in this camp, but I like him a lot. Joe Scally was one that, good question, Andy Garcia. I've always been surprised by Scally going to Mönchengladbach because what I've seen of him, I just don't think that Scally's very good technically. But, Mönchengladbach paid a lot of money for him, which surprised me. And I only saw Scally, to be fair, at the U17 World Cup. So it was a limited. He could have been improved by now, although I wonder why he's not playing for NYC. He'll get on for 10 minutes at the end once in a while. But if you're not even good enough to play for NYC, I doubt you're going to be good enough for a Champions League team. But who knows? Who knows what happened? Got a couple more minutes here, guys, and then I have to sign off. Zach says Areola should switch to fullback. I don't think he should because we have so many fullbacks already. If he switches to fullback, he's not going to play. So, Kevin F., your thoughts on Jesus Ferreira? I liked Jesus Ferreira in 2019, but he's really dropped off this season for Dallas. He has not been good. So he needs to pick it up next season if he wants to get in. He probably end up going to the Olympics, if I'm honest. How would you think Frankie Amaya would have done if he could have played? I'll be honest. I haven't seen a lot of Frankie Amaya. You know how painful it is to watch Cincinnati right now? I watch a lot of MLS games, but Cincinnati is one of the ones I've not watched. I'll have a look at him, though, at some point and let you know what I think. Alfonso Davies, McKenzie or Richards or Zimmerman? Not Zimmerman. Richards, I like. McKenzie, I like. Zimmerman is probably a Gold Cup guy. Do I think Alfredo Morales can fit into an EU team? What's an EU team? Oh, like a European team? Depends. If there's no Johnny Cardoso, maybe. But I'd probably rather see Chris Durkin at this point at that 6. Let's see. Jesus Vasquez. Sorry, guys. A lot of comments I'm trying to get through. Did you see Soto or Giacchini get the start over Sargent in the future? Maybe. I think Sargent is a more complete forward than both of those guys. But maybe at some point. I don't know. We'll see how the future goes. Sargent's developing very nicely at Bremen. And he doesn't get a lot of goals. And that turns a lot of people off because we want to see the ball go in the back of the net if you're a forward. But you watch his movement, his hold-up play, his spatial awareness, the assist against Bayern Munich. That's the best team in the world. This guy's 20 years old. Don't sleep on Josh Sargent. He's really, really good. Let me see what else we got. Thoughts on Brian Reynolds not being called up? Yeah, so Brian Reynolds, a lot of people after the last video commented about why I didn't want Brian Reynolds there. It's not that I didn't want him there. It's just that what I've seen from Brian Reynolds is a very good attacking fullback, but defensively, not that good. and that's normal. He played most of his youth career as a attacking, as a winger, so he has to learn how to defend properly. It was just sort of his angle of approach to the ball, his starting position, his, the way he would close down. You could just tell he's not a natural defender. But the good thing is you can learn stuff like that even in your early 20s. It's not like technique where you have to learn it at a young age. All right. What else do we got here? Predictions on the MLS finals. And then you put yellow, black hearts. So I know you're a Crew fan. I have to go with Seattle. They've been there before. They know how to do it. But I think Columbus could also win too. On the day, whoever shows up on the day is going to be great. The only Josue. Honestly, Pete, you should be hired to do the podcast instead of Alexi Lalas. You guys are awesome. Thank you. It's very nice of you to believe in me, and I love that you guys love what we're doing. By the way, with a lot of my tactical videos, I've wanted to show you the clip of the game. So when I talk about something, you have the visual. I can't do that on YouTube, unfortunately, because I'll get copyright strikes and they'll kick me off. So I will maybe start doing that on Patreon. If you guys want to see, because I want to take individual player breakdowns from this game and show you what I thought they did well and what they didn't do well, but I can't show you that on YouTube. So come join me on Patreon, guys. I can do a lot more there. I have a lot more license to do stuff. What do you think of Conrad's recent stint with the Barca first team? James, good to see you, James. Yeah, I'm not as high on Conrad as some people are. But yeah, he's playing for Barcelona. I was glad to see him get on the field in the Champions League. He's a different kind of player to Uli. He's not as technical as Uli, where Uli has that 360-degree technical ability, but he's faster. And when you're talking about a more vertical game, Conrad is very good at stretching the back line and making fullbacks uncomfortable with his darting runs. So they're different. They're different players. He stays at Barcelona. He'll keep growing and getting better. So. What else have we got? The Seattle Dynasty. They are scary. Yes, they are. That's 4 finals now in 5 years for them, and two cups so far. They won twice, right? What do you think for McKinney goal for Juventus? Yes, that was a great goal, Brandon. McKinney's goal for Juventus was fantastic, but I don't know what those Barcelona defenders were doing. I think Gerard Piqué needs to spend less time with Shakira and more time learning how to defend again. Do you think Tim Weah can still continue to evolve and push for a starting spot? The States FC, another big friend of the channel. You've been with us since video 2. Yes, I think he can. He's been injured for a long time, and he's lost his rhythm, but he has the technique to really be an effective winger or a 10 or even as a forward. He's very versatile. So I heard Weah starting tomorrow, guys. Watch the Europa League game tomorrow because I heard he's starting. Where are we? Where and how do you think Morris currently fits on the team by Big Hungry? Yeah, I think Morris should be there. Morris is like Conrad de la Fuente, and don't freak out. I'm not saying he's Barcelona material, but Morris is a player who's better on the counterattack. You watch him for Seattle, watch him where he's most effective is when he has space, when he can use his explosiveness and his speed to get in behind. But when you confine Morris in tight spaces, right, his technique lets him down because he's not a very technical player. He struggles. Okay. Michael Rodriguez just popped in. Did you mention Tyler Boyd? I don't really rate Tyler Boyd that highly. He just seems like one of those guys that's a straight line winger. But he's not very fast. He's not particularly good in combination. Maybe a Gold Cup player. That's how I see Tyler Boyd. Who are some veterans do you see fitting into a Gold Cup team? A lot of these guys. Walker Zimmerman, maybe. He's one of the guys in the Gold Cup. I can see Tim Ream going to the Gold Cup if he doesn't go with the first team, if McKenzie breaks into the first team, but Berhalter might keep Ream there. I don't know. He might keep Ream with the first team. What else? Yeah, Ray Puma. That's right. We've evolved. Where do you think we should play El Tri at? Minnesota? I mean, yeah, somewhere cold. I'd stick with Columbus, to be honest. I'd stay there for now. Minnesota, you're going to get a lot more Hispanic people from the big cities. So I think Columbus is still a good spot. I saw somebody on Twitter saying we should take them to Alaska, and that just made me LOL. I want to see us face Mexico and Kansas or Atlanta due to huge crowds. However, Arrowhead uses real grass instead of turf. Why would we want to face Mexico in Atlanta? All the Mexican fans are going to show up. Let's see. Any younger unknown dual nationals you will watch for in 2021? Yes, Florian Balogun in Arsenal, guys. Keep an eye on him. He's a dual national. I don't know if he's going to choose us, but England is kind of stacked, so there's possibility. Yeah, I think there's this was an interesting game. I thought in the first half we looked very good, but I think that a lot of that was because of El Salvador not really understanding what they were trying to do, and so we cut them open. In the second half, El Salvador adapted, and not only did they adapt, but we took off some of our best players on the field, Areola and Leggett specifically, and that hurt us. And so it was tough for the team to kind of cope after that. I think it was a good game. I'm going to watch it again. I'm going to talk more about some things tomorrow. Thanks for dropping in, guys. This is really fun. I like doing this a lot, hanging out with you guys and hearing your questions and thoughts. Some of you guys are really funny. You should do comedy. I'll see you in Arkansas. Make it happen. Yeah, not sure there's a big enough stadium out there, but maybe. Does Alaska have a stadium? Is Gio hyped? Yes, Gio is hyped because he's really fucking good. Pardon my language. Thank you, Christian. That's very nice of you. So I played and watched soccer for 37 years. I think your commentary and critique is on point. Thank you, sir. Appreciate that. I hope you're having fun watching reality TV. Is your wife making you watch reality TV? Or are you willingly watching with her? And what is she watching? Tell us in the chat. Packy. Thanks so much, Packy. All the love. I appreciate it, guys. Honestly, your comments make me feel good because I put 20, 30 hours a week into making these videos, and between research and shooting and editing and publishing and then responding to all the comments. So your comments really do they give me a lot of encouragement. They inspire me to keep going, and I appreciate it. Thank you to all of the Patreon guys who signed in last week. We're going to have a ton more of content out there on Patreon, along with some videos that I cannot post on YouTube because of copyright issues. So I appreciate you guys supporting me and being part of this channel. We're going to keep growing. We're going to keep building community. And it's going to be an exciting time, guys. It really is. To be a USMNT fan the next 10 years and more, 15 years, is going to be awesome. So hang in there. It's going to be a wild ride. Jan Stepp says, can we hit the like button, guys? Yes, please do hit the like button. Helps other people to find us. Mr. Chair, best USMNT analysis on YouTube. Ha, thanks, guys. Christian Hansen. No, just trying to spend some time with her. She is watching Love Island. I saw a few minutes of that show. It actually looks kind of fun. Awesome. Well, guys, this is really cool. I'll answer 3 more questions, then I have to sign off, okay? What next big club do you think Gio Reyna will go to? Oof. I don't know. I think you should stay in Dortmund at least another year, maybe longer. You want to develop before going to like a mega club. But I can see him I wouldn't want him to go to Real Madrid. I know there were some rumors there. I just think that's such a toxic club. It's not a good place for Americans to go. Generally, it's for wingers in general. I mean, look how many wingers have gone there and had their careers ruined. I can see him at Barca. I can see him at, one of the big Premier League clubs like a Chelsea, Man City. It'd be really cool to get him at Chelsea and have him play with Pulisic. I don't know if that's going to happen. Jesse Marsh to Dortmund. Maybe. We'll see. Lynn wins. Love your videos, man. Thank you. Daniel Rudolph. Guys, I'm not going to answer questions about everything under the sun. What we'll probably do is have a Q&A episode on YouTube at some point. You guys can just, hit me up with your questions and I'll try to answer them all. And let me know if you guys like this. If you guys like this live Hangout format, I'm happy to do this a bit more often if we can, depending on, my schedule and stuff. Crispin, glad to see you guys. James Burrell. Leggett solidified himself as a second choice midfielder for this team. Definitely. I think one of the guys after, like if we play McKennie and Musa at those dual 8s, and then maybe him and Ledesma as backups. That's what I would like to see. All right, guys. Last one, Ethan Horvath. Where should he go? Anywhere he's going to be a number 1. Come back to MLS if you have to, but you need to be playing. He's 25, 26, needs to do well. This was fun, guys. I'm going to sign off here. Don't forget to like. If you have more comments, go ahead and, put them there. I'm going to do a whole video tomorrow about the game, a whole tactical breakdown and talking about player. I'm going to give some player ratings as well, how I thought they did. And then I'm going to do individual player analysis stuff probably on Patreon in the next week or two. So this was fun. You guys have a blast. Have a great night. Good 6-0 win for the U.S. That always boosts our spirit, makes us excited to see it. And I will see you guys tomorrow with the video. Have a great one, okay? Signing off.